Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. Now, this lesson is going to be entitled, Dreadlocks is not an Israelite custom. I repeat, dreadlocks is not an Israelite custom. You'll have some of these images and these AI produced images or Jake drawing images of Israelites in the ancient world having dreadlocks. This is not our custom. This is the custom of the heathen. Okay, and it's a filthy custom, and no one that you know of in the scriptures had dreadlocks in their head. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you where dreadlocks also came from, because dreadlocks came from the heathen. All right, let's deal with the Rastafarianism. Okay, that's what made dreadlocks popular. Those Jamaicans with their Rastafarianism. That's what made the dreadlocks popular for Jake. Okay, so let's deal with that. It says the influence of Indian culture on Rastafarianism can be traced back to the mid-19th century, okay, going back to the 1800s, when the British colonial government brought Indians to Jamaica as indentured laborers to work on sugar plantations after the abolition of slavery, right? So the East Indians, they were indentured servants. They weren't in hardcore slavery like us Israelites, okay? So anyways, it says the shared experience of oppression by the British created a bond between the Indians and Jamaicans, and over time Indian culture permeated every aspect of life in Jamaica, including religion. All right, and it goes back to the so-called Hinduism. Okay, and those Hindus are known for being filthy. Them Hindus are known for they'll what you would call it, they'll bathe in those filthy waters and things of that nature. There's a lot of filthy customs those Hindus are into, and one of those filthy customs were those dreadlocks. Okay, the Indian influence on Jamaican religion can be seen in the development of Rastafarianism, which emerged in 1930s as a response to the social and economic conditions faced by black Jamaicans who were oppressed by colonialism and felt disconnected from their African roots, right? Now, excuse me, there's no such thing as African roots. There's no such nation as African. Okay, this was made up by the so-called white man. Okay, there's Hamites, which that land of Africa is the land of Ham. Okay, where the Hamites predominantly dwelt. Okay. But we were up in there as well. There's a lot of Israelites in that land because we migrated into the land of Ham. And Israelites have always been in that land as well. But we are not Hamites. Okay, we are Israelites that just happen to be in that landmass. But there's Israelites that were all over the world. There's Israelites that were all throughout Europe. Okay, a lot of these so-called white people you think are so-called white people, they descend from Israelites. They're actually Israelites. Their forefathers are so-called black people. Okay, and these different people from around the world as well. Okay, so you're talking about you want to get back to your African roots. What does that mean? That means nothing. There's many nations in Africa. There's Arabs. There's East Indians. There's Edomites, so-called white people. There's all kind of nations out there. So what does it mean? Get back to your African roots. This just shows how confused our people are. Okay. It says Indian culture, and them and them Africans really started to put those dreadlocks in their head like that because of Rastafarianism. Okay, they're copying you, all right, and you were copying the East Indians in the East, and you just made it cool. You made it cool. You made it trendy. You made it. The world want to do it because everything we touch, we turn to gold. Okay. See, even wickedness we make popular, man, as Israelites. It says Indian culture and philosophies had a profound impact on Rastafarianism and Rastafarian beliefs and practices, infusing them with a rich tapestry of concepts that had developed over centuries. And you know what, I just thinking about the the ital and eat ital soup and wanted to go vegetarian. Them Hindus do not believe in eating meat and things like that, beef and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? They believe the cows are they worship the cow and different things like that. So that's where they got that from, that vegetarianism. For instance, Rastafarians embrace the concept of reincarnation, which, guess what? The concept of reincarnation is biblical. But the way the Hindus believe it is bugged out. They believe that you die as a human being and you'll come back as a cow or a butterfly. That's confusion. That's not what the scriptures say. You die and you'll come back as a human being again from the same nation that you were always in, and usually from the same family line. Okay? It says a fundamental principle of Hinduism, which offered the hope of transcending the limitations of mortal existence. Similarly, the idea of detachment from material possessions, central to both Hinduism and Rastafarianism, provided a guiding principle for living a spiritually enlightened life. Moreover, the impact of Rastafarianism can be seen the use of marijuana. See, right? And they're heavy with that, which that came from them Elamites, the East Indians. Indians introduced marijuana to the people of Jamaica as a means of achieving spiritual union with God. And this is what these Rastafarians believe. And it's bugged out. It's madness. And this practice eventually became a key element of Rastafarian belief and practice. For Rastafarians, marijuana is a sacred herb that facilitates spiritual enlightenment and connects with God. All right. They believe that it opens the third eye, allowing them access to a higher level of consciousness. When they smoke marijuana, they experience a sense of oneness with the universe. This practice has its origin in Indian spiritual practices, where Hindu sadhus have been meditating and using cannabis for thousands of years to facilitate communication with the divine. Okay, so let me get a scripture. We're gonna get to the dreadlocks because they're gonna speak about that. I'm sure they are. I didn't read this whole thing, but they're gonna speak about it. Oh well, it's right here. But before I even read that, let me read Jeremiah the 10th chapter. This is Jeremiah 10:1. It says, "Hear ye the word of Yahweh speaketh. Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them." So we're not supposed to learn the ways of the heathen. Dreadlocks is the ways of the heathen. That smoking weed is the ways of the heathen. Believing that you come back as a cow and an ant, that's the ways of the heathen. All right? Tattoos on your body, that's the ways of the heathen. Orgies and women having multiple husbands, that's the ways of the heathen. That's not the ways of Israel. That's not the right path. That's not the clean way. Okay, the Lord told us to be holy and separate. Okay, it says, "For the customs of the people are vain," meaning they're empty, they're worthless, they're stupid. "For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold." What does that sound like? That sounds like Christmas, cutting a tree down and decking it with gold and silver. "They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. Well, going back to Christmas, Saturnalia, right? They believed that if the tree would fall, then you would die or kill you or something along those lines. And that's why they put gifts under the tree to appease that particular god. Listen, man, the Satanism is the broad path. There's many ways to Satanism. Okay, you don't have to necessarily have the pentagram on your forehead. There's many ways to Satanism. It's the broad path. The ways of truth, the ways to Yahweh Shai is very narrow. Okay. For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Yahweh, thou art great, and thy name is great in might. Okay, so we're not supposed to learn the ways of the heathen. Let's go to Leviticus 18:3. It says, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 2. It says, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh, your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. So he's warning us not to do after the land of the Egypt where we came out of. Forget about those customs that you learned there. We're supposed to forget about the mindset and the customs of America, the mindsets and the customs of Canada and Babylon and the beast systems in general. All right? And after the doings, and a lot of you are still in that mindset. That's why we bring out certain scriptures, Deuteronomy 22nd chapter. You can't get it because you're Americanized. Your mindset is after the ways of Babylon. Okay, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall you walk in their ordinances. Okay, now let's look up the word ordinances. The Hebrew word is chakwa. Okay, chakwa. Okay, for ordinances. So we open this up. It says statute, ordinance, custom. Okay, we spoke about the customs. So we're not supposed to walk after the heathen's customs. Appointed manners, rights. Okay, statutes, ordinance, limit. Right, like the Hindus, they limit you from eating meat. Because they worship the cow, and then now Jake, they've turned that to a damn religion. Don't eat meat, you can't eat meat, this and that. Meat was created to be eaten. The clean meat was created to be eaten. The lawful meats that are written in the law. Okay, yes, they're polluted in this time, absolutely, but it's still lawful to eat. So you can't give a decree people or brothers can't eat meat. All right, something prescribed. All right, so what's some of our customs? The Passover. All right, the Day of Atonement. To wear fringes on our garments. To keep our beards on our face. To eat certain things. To to fast and to pray to Yahweh Shai. These are certain of our customs. The man is the head of the household. A man can have multiple wives, but a woman can only have one man. These are our customs. The other customs is the customs of the heathen. And some of the customs, guess what? Were oral. Okay, some of the customs were oral. Everything wasn't written down. Even Paul, when he mentioned about the long hair, he mentioned it as it being a custom. As a matter of fact, excuse me, mistake there. This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 14, and he was speaking to Corinth, Greece, because that because that church had a lot of issues, man. They were constantly following the ways of the heathen, the ways of the Greeks. They were heavily into those ways, so he had to break them out of those ways. This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 11. It says, nevertheless, Neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of the Most High. Judge in yourselves. Is it comely that a woman pray unto the Most High uncovered? Right, so it's part of the customs for a woman to be covered when she prays unto the Most High. This is going back to the ancient world. No, there's no law that says thou and the woman shall cover themselves. Some of the customs were oral. Not every custom was written down. Not every manner and law, if you will, was written down. Certain things were passed down, were already known that a woman was supposed to be covered when she prayed, because she's not on the level of a man. Okay? It says, doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? Now he's going into the customs of the hair of men. So men are not supposed to have long hair. That's a shame unto them. Oh, what about Samson? Yeah, Samson was a special case. He was a Nazarite unto death. And the angel said that he had to be a Nazarite from the time he was born to the time he died. Okay? And guess what? Samson didn't have dreadlocks in his head. And we're going to get that too. Okay? But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. And when a man has long hair, a lot of times most of the time I'll say, I get confused whether that's a man or a woman until I look at the face. So that's a man. Wow. Because from the back you say, okay, it's a woman because you're looking at the long hair. That's a custom of the woman. Okay. It says, but if any man seem to be contentious, meaning if any man have a problem with that, we have no such custom. We have no such custom. We have no such right. We have no such, when I say right, I'm talking about RITE. Okay. We have no such practice. Okay. In other words, neither the churches of the Most High. So that's it. So he was showing you, listen, this is not part of our custom. This is not what it looks like to be an Israelite, for a man to be walking around with long hair. Okay, that's a heathenistic custom. And the Athenians, the Greek Athenians, were known for having long hair. Okay, and they were also known for being homosexuals. Okay, so you can put that together. All right. We are not supposed to learn the ways of the heathen. We're supposed to stick to our customs and our roots. The scriptures say the ways of old, says to find ye the old path, the good way. Us following the ways of the heathen is not the old path, and it's not the good way. This is Leviticus 20 and 22. It says, ye shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgments and do them, that the land whither I bring you to dwell therein spew you not out. And ye shall not walk in the manners of the nation which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. So when you when you follow the ways of the nations, that's a good way to have the Most High abhor you, meaning to cast you off, to look at you as something, to basically avoid you. All right. Let's go back to this article real quick. And let's get this part. It says the influence of Indian culture on Rastafarianism is also evident in the Rastafarians' unique hairstyle. Dreadlocks. For both dreadlocks signify the rejection of worldly pleasures. Where's that in the Bible? Where's that in the Bible? That's not in the Bible at all. This is some madness. And material detachment. The sadhus believed that hair carries energy, and the longer it grew, the more they could use that spiritual energy to connect with God. Well, the God they're speaking about is Satan, because it's not the God of the Bible. And if it's not the God of the Bible, whether it's Zeus or Nefertiti or whoever the hell it may be, what's that one there? ISIS or any of them. Okay, it all leads back to Satan. Okay, And they're not following Yahweh. They haven't followed Yahweh Shah. How do you know? Well, look at the customs they're following. First of all, they're heathen. But then look at the customs they follow. This is not the customs that Yahweh commanded. It says, Rastafarians see dreadlocks as a way to connect with their African roots and as a symbol of their rejection of Babylonian society and its standards of beauty. The dreadlocks represent simplicity, humility, and a rejection of vanity and materialism. Yeah, and them dreadheads be the most vain and materialistic guys you ever met. First of all, the reason they have the dreadlocks is vanity. Okay, 99.9% of the people that have the dreadlocks, they have it for vanity purposes, usually for women. That's why the other camps don't speak against it, because they know there are people that will fall out of the truth based upon them having to cut their dreadlocks, or they'll just leave the congregation. Why? Because the women are attracted to the dreadlocks. Why? Because the women are wicked, and women are attracted to wickedness. Listen, if you become a drug dealer today, guarantee the amount of women you get will skyrocket. I guarantee it, 100%. Because they're attracted to wickedness. I know when I was doing wickedness in the world, that's when the women were just easy peasy. I didn't have to. There was no effort involved like that. Then when you came to righteousness, it became a damn a UFC match. You see? They're attracted to wickedness. They're attracted to those things that are opposed to the Most High. You have to understand that, man. And they give in to their lusts. So you, just because a woman likes it, what the hell does that mean, man? Really, you should probably avoid it. Okay? Satan is in the midst. All right? It said, in rejection of vanity and materialism, which you know that's BS. The Rastafari movement, well, except for maybe the Bogo dreads that live out in the, in the damn woods, okay, or the jungle. Okay, yeah, cool. Maybe they don't care about materialism, but the majority of them, they're getting dreadlocks for the purpose of vanity. It says the Rastafari movement also considers the biblical Samson and his long hair as a symbol of strength and power, which adds another layer of meaning to the tradition. Well, let's go into Samson, because Samson didn't have no damn dreadlocks. Let's go into that. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is Judges 13 and verse 4. Okay, dealing with the birth of Samson and what he was to do. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 3. It says, and the angel of Yahweh appeared unto the woman and said unto her, behold, now thou art barren and bearest not. Thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink. See, it's usually a lot of times when those women were going to have those great children, right? A lot of times they would be barren before that. So they would have to exercise patience. And then the child that they would get would be like a magnificent child, like a Samson, a Samuel. All right. It says, now therefore beware. Oh, Salakia. Let me go read this again. It says, and the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, behold, now thou art barren and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite unto the Most High from the womb. Okay, so he was supposed to be a Nazarite from the womb, and Nazarites are not supposed to drink things that come from the vine, not supposed to drink wine or strong drink or liquor, anything like that, or honey wine. Okay, they're not supposed to drink. They're not supposed to touch anything unclean. Okay, that was a vow that separated you unto the Most High. Okay, it said, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, a man of the Most High came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of the Most High, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told he me his name. So anyway, so what I want to do is I want to get down to where it speaks about locks. I believe it mentions locks. Yeah, it does mention locks somewhere, but I gotta let's type in the word locks. Okay, see all the days of our separation. The lock. Now let's look up the word locks. Locks are not speaking about dreadlocks. First of all, the word dread means terrible. Anyways, because of how terrible it looks. Let's get locks. Okay, the Hebrew word is parai, and it says hair, long hair of head, locks. Leader, the hair as disheveled. Tidy. Okay. Nope. Locks. Absolute judges. Okay. See what else pops. Locks. Okay. So from here it's saying it just means hair. Okay. Let's go into the root. I need to lead, to let go, to let loose, ignore. Okay, to cause to refrain, to show lack of restraint. In other words, just let your hair grow. You know, let your hair grow. You know, because you restraining it would be to what? To trim it. All right, so the Nazarites were not supposed to trim it. So it doesn't mention anything about dreadlocks. Matter of fact, there's even another scripture which speak about. Oh man, let me look up some more. See if this always the word parai. If it's a different word, no, it should be a different word at certain points. Okay, this is dealing with the Songs of Solomon. This one I was thinking of too. Okay, this word is tazama. Okay, it says veil, woman's veil. Veil. Okay, this is going into the word veil. All right. Okay. Check these three, see which words is there, and then that's pretty much it. But the point is, it doesn't say anything about dreads and twisting your hair or nothing like that. Well, that was never our customs. Okay, it's a different word. This is kwa wa taza rath. Kwa taza rath. It says locks of hair, feminine in its original sense of forelock, shorn, hair over head, head over forehead, hair over forehead, locks of hair, so called from their being cut off. Okay, so anyway, so it's not. Let me check this one out. We're gonna take our time and see if we find any other definition for locks, but you know, same word. Let's see what this one is. Tazama. Veil. Okay, it goes into veil. Okay, so anyways, when you look in those hieroglyphs, you can see that the Israelites, they didn't wear dreads, they were wearing braids. Okay. See, these are well, so some of our women didn't even have braids, but you see they had afros. See, they had afros here. Okay, they're rocking afros. All right, and there's certain images I believe they're rocking braids. And that's when all of our women had long hair, including the Judite woman. Okay, you know, these here are braids. I'm not sure if this is an Egyptian or an Israelite woman. But we rock braids. We never rock no damn dreadlocks, man. Dreadlocks are unclean, man. Okay, and I read to you that we're not supposed to follow the ways of the heathen. Okay. You know. So, anyways, I'm thinking of a scripture which speaks about, you know, he you know, to weave the hair of their locks or something along those lines. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find that, man. Salakia, forgive me. We do this in the spirit. We don't script this, man. And even in the Josephus, it spoke about King David, King Solomon braiding gold into his hair. He didn't dreadlock gold into his hair. He braided gold into his hair. Ah, okay, there we go. Well, this is one. Dealing with First Peter's. Let's get this. This is just one. I believe there might be another one. Anyways, this is First Peter's 3 and verse 3, and it says, "Who's adorning?" No, let's go to verse 2. It says, 1 Peter 3 and 2. It says, While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair. Now let's look at what plaiting the hair is. Let's see if this is dreadlocks putting beeswax in your hair. Okay, plaiting the hair. Let's look at what plaiting the hair is all about, man. Imploque, which means an interweaving, braiding, a knot, an elaborate gathering of one's hair into knots. This is what the Israelites were doing. This is what our women were doing, and this is what the men did from time to time. Okay? We did not there's no scripture gonna say, and thus, Elijah took some of the honey and locusts and took the honey and used that, to lock his hair. No, they did not do that. That's not a custom. You're not gonna find a scripture on that, because they did not do that. But you'll find a scripture on them braiding their hair, though, as I'm reading right now. An interweaving, braiding, a knot, an elaborate gathering of one's hair into knots. Yeah, that's the braids, and Jake will do designs and things like that. They were even doing that in slavery as a particular map. They would braid the map into the woman's hair. Okay. So that's one. Okay. Which First Timothy's the second chapter says the same thing. Let's get First Timothy's 2:9 real quick, because it says the same thing basically. It's telling them to avoid that, because that would gather attention unto them. It was a beautiful hairstyle, the braids. So it's like for the purpose of getting attention and things of that nature, because women love attention. They told you to abstain from that if you're a woman of the Lord. Because that attention could be addictive. It says, in like manner, also the women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair, or gold or pearls or costly array. Now let's look up the word broided. Excuse me. Oh, it's a different word though. Plegma. What is woven, plaited, all right? Same thing as braids. Or twisted. Nope, not twisted. Braided. You can't. Listen, man. It's not talking about twisting. It's talking about interwoven something, a web, something you weave, a plait, braid of a net. What does that have to do with twisting? Okay, of a basket in which an infant Moses was laid, of braided hair, right? Because braids was the Israelite custom, not no goddamn dreads with no beeswax in it. And notice a lot of those people, when they have those dreads, their hair stinks. It smells like a homeless person. Okay, it gets that smell to it, because you're not supposed to have no goddamn dreads. All right, so anyways, so with that, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. I just want to go into that, man, because Jake is all caught up in his dreadlocks as if this is part of our customs, when it's not. It has nothing to do with the Israelite custom. This is a heathenistic custom, and the Most High is against it. So with that, I'll say shalom.